I know what you're thinking. Soldier desperately needs more weapons, he's only got 25. I'm just joking, of course. It's very unlikely we're going to see new weapons for any of the classes really anytime soon, especially not for Soldier, but this is a series I really enjoy making and we're kind of working our way through each of the classes and Soldier was just next on my list. If anything, I would say that a few of Soldier's existing weapons need a bit of a tweak, maybe reworking, but for the sake of this video, we're going to go crazy, we're going to fantasize and we're going to explore some brand new weapon concepts. What I love about this series is that I look through the workshop and I find some really cool models in there. There's so much existing beautiful work out there. I think it's always great to be able to shed new light onto it, get more eyeballs onto it. I think that's always a good thing and I'll try throughout this to give credit, especially on the concepts we're really going to focus on. Concept number 1, the Madman's Mortar. It does more damage or something, but projectiles travel in an arch and the rockets have a short fuse time. What do you think of that? Ridiculous? I agree. So first of all, this is an absolutely beautiful model by Nano393. I love this idea, taking a mortar that would normally be used kind of situated on the ground and just whacking it on your shoulder and going around using it like a bazooka. I love that. It's such a cool idea. Other names I had was like the shoulder support or the mobile mortar, the fireman's carry. Officially in the workshop, this one's called the trench buster, which is also very cool. By the way, as we go through, any name suggestions, you guys always do a great job. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. But yeah, I thought it would be cool to have a slightly longer range, slightly support-esque role for the soldier, where you don't get that ridiculous damage fall off. If you shoot a rocket right now into the distance, you do a pitiful amount of damage. But perhaps with this, if you can really calculate those shots, maybe you can do a bunch of damage and actually pick people off from a distance. As always, we don't go into the details of the numbers. Again, if you want to try that out, love to hear from you in the comments below. But generally speaking, I wanted this to be more difficult to aim because of the arc, potentially the slower projectile speed. The reason I'm adding the small fuse time is to give this like a bit of a downside in that if someone's right in your face, you can't really spam rockets at your feet in the same way you can now. So if there's a spy up in your grill, maybe you can shoot the rocket into the ground and you kind of see it there sizzling, ready to go off, and then maybe after 1 second, it does eventually explode. This short fuse time that the rockets have has implications for rocket jumping as well. You wouldn't be able to do your typical rocket jump by aiming at your feet. You'd kind of have to shoot into the floor in advance and jump in a similar way to how you do with an iron bomber, counting down the fuse time and timing the jump just right. So this would significantly change how the soldier moves around the map. Oh, and one more thing, I guess technically, this particular gun model and concept would suit just being able to have one piece of ammunition loaded at a time, in the same way an actual mortar works. But let's be honest, the stock rocket launcher doesn't make all that much sense either. The Madman's Mortar, it's beautiful. Concept number 2, the Point Man's Plinker. So if you Google plinking, it kind of means something related to shooting rifles and stuff. I don't know, just Google it, it's fine. This is a highly accurate secondary for the soldier. It's a hit scan, it has a slow rate of fire, it does less damage when close up than the shotgun, but at longer ranges, it will actually do more damage than the shotgun. It doesn't get much more fitting than giving the soldier a nice, juicy rifle, the kind of thing someone from the infantry would typically use. In terms of the balance against, say, a shotgun, it would have a fairly slow fire rate. It would shoot, of course, one pellet at a time. And in the same way as the shotgun, it would be primarily used for finishing off players. Instead of reloading your rocket launcher, you can just flick over to your rifle and pick someone off as they're retreating. The benefit being they can be a little bit further away and you should be able to pick them off if your aim is good. So it's basically a trade-off. If someone was really close and you wanted to try and finish them off, the shotgun would work better. But if they're running off into the distance, you'd be better off choosing the rifle to try and take them out. Again, not sharing any numbers here. I have no idea what the stats would have to be. I guess it couldn't do too much because you could end up just using it as a sniper rifle. I found this model. It looks like your basic kind of old school infantry rifle, and I thought it looked kind of cool. I'd love to hear your thoughts. It makes sense, right? The soldier needs a rifle, or maybe it should be a machine gun. Too far? Concept number 3, the officer's Offaler. Pretty cool name. The soldier's saber, the officer's oath, the dead of the night, just some of the other ideas I had. This is another sword for the soldier. If you time your swings right, you can parry the attacks from the Demo Knight. That's right, actual sword fighting in TF2. You swing it just the right time and your swords clink together, it would be amazing. The downsides? Slower attack speed, and I guess less damage or something? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Remember the sword fighting bit, that's what matters. So this model I found in the workshop is called the Law and Order. I thought it was ideal for this concept because I envisioned a kind of officer's sword of some kind, the sort of thing they use kind of ceremonially in the army. As always, not sure the exact stats, but yeah, generally speaking, more swords for soldier would be cool because we need more balance between the Demo Knight and the Sxottie Knight. At the moment, he has the half Sxottie, but I feel like there should be an equivalent to the Demo Knight for soldier. Maybe some armor to go along with it, maybe a shield. I mean, I found this Praetorian Guard outfit, that could be one route, a little bit different. Maybe a soldier equivalent of the Demo Knight would be freaking awesome. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Bonus concept. The Sure Footer. No self-damage from rockets, massively reduced knockback from all sources including your own rockets, but slower movement speed. This one probably breaks the game. I basically had the idea of a rocket launcher that does no self-damage, and then I tried to balance it, and then I realised that you need to reduce the self-knockback a ton, else you'd be jumping around the map like a maniac, you know, like the rocket jumper. I think the general idea for this was, what if we gave an alternative playstyle to the rocket jumping soldier? Now rocket jumping's awesome, it's super fun, and you have to learn it to be any good at soldier, but what if there was an alternative? And that's what I was thinking about when coming up with this terrible weapon. So as I was going through the workshop, I saw loads of cool models and pieces of artwork that inspired all sorts of ideas, so I just wanted to show a few of these, some of the models that I thought had real potential. First of all, there are these kind of space boots called the Lunar Landers. Now these are by Badger Pig, Populous, Square and Tabby. And there's this second weapon called the Apollo Pack by the same guys. These look awesome, and I couldn't quite figure out what exactly would be their stats. Maybe you fly through the air more slowly, maybe you take no full damage. It feels like those kind of things would make sense. These were actually made fairly recently compared to some of the other stuff. So yeah, I don't know about you, but I think these would look really awesome in the game. And at the very least, they could just be cosmetics, but I think it would be even cooler if they were weapons. This one I thought was interesting, the Bird's Eye Bomber by Edo Baba. This kind of addressed what I was talking about earlier, the idea of maybe another option instead of rocket jumping. In this case, it kind of made me think about what if there was an easier way to rocket jump. Maybe using this weapon you right click and do kind of a little rocket jump and it's much easier and you take less damage. I don't know, could be interesting. Here's another great sword called the Grim Charger I found by Overpowered, Grandpa Soldier and Ace Man. I think this is a bayonet, it looks freaking awesome. And I'd say one of my favourite things I found on the workshop was this beauty, the Maggot Decimator by Neodos. It's the caber for soldier. Do I need to say any more? And not only is it the caber for soldier, but it's the end of like a rifle, you know, when you can fit the grenade thing in and it shoots the grenade and he's just holding it and it's just torn off. You know what I mean. It's an awesome model, I love it. BTW, buff caber, that'd be great, thanks. Oh, and finally we should probably add this into the game, a ladle. Kind of makes sense, silly not to have it really. This one's called Dinner Time by Cami Rodeo. And last but not least, a sausage. Hot of Dogness by Sparkwire. Yes? Is it being added? Good. Dare I say it, I want to beat people up with my sausage. Okay, let's move on. Well, there you go guys, I really enjoy making videos for this series. I hope you guys enjoy watching as well. Let me know your thoughts on these concepts I had in the comments below. Thank you to A Bear for the woolen warmer and some metal, and thank you to Spook X100 for the Civic Duty Mark II knife and the base jumper. Join my Discord, follow me on Twitter, subscribe, stay hydrated, stay warm, stay safe. That's pretty much it really. And apologies for the terrible gameplay footage in the background. And I'll see you guys in the next video.